anti-Elon rally. Uh-oh. People mad about President Elon Musk? Is that it?
You look at my gray hair, you think I probably don't listen to rap music, and you're right. But I heard about the slogan in a podcast, and I thought that is the right idea. Elon Musk, he not like us.
And that's a Kendrick Lamar reference.
I wouldn't know. I know it's a rap music reference. How do the rappers say it?
They not like us.
They not like us. The billionaire shouldn't be able to tell all the rest of us what to do.
Stop the billionaire coup.
Oh, God. How do you do, fellow kids? I know, it's so funny.
Elon Musk is literally raiding our government and destroying our country.
Wow.
Become meme.
That's the one illegal alien that we have to get rid of.
Meanwhile, Trump and Musk's efforts to expand the power of the executive branch and slash the federal workforce continue.
What they're doing is illegal. He is not a government employee. 300 employees at the National Nuclear Security Administration were fired.
It's a coup. It's a bunch of unelected billionaires who are ransacking our government.
This really does look like
This is the first time that's ever happened, by the way.
1933
Hasn't happened
Germany.
at all
Hitler
since now.
did rule via executive order.
38.
Do they believe they're doing something? They believe they're doing something, yes.
Executive orders.
Just executive order after executive order. And it's unreal. It's fascism at its heart.
I have Hitler. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with Hitler?
Yeah, Trump for emperor.
We want to downsize government but make it better.
Stop the fucking billionaires.
He's firing a lot of federal workers. Many of these folks have civil service protection, so these things are against the law.
He's in the
Yeah, that's exactly why he wants them to give the list, and that's why he put them on leave, because he needs to have them not following orders or not doing a directive in order to have cause to fire them. See, that guy actually is right, but that's the real reason why he's asking them to fill out the list, is so they have precedent to get rid of them.
Arrest
Anybody
today, I
could have
hear.
seen
He's
this.
getting all of our information. They're slashing jobs.
Uh-oh.
They're slashing the Department of Education. They're slashing
infectious disease experts, baby formula inspectors, livestock disease testers,
people in the FBI,
park rangers, bank regulators,
CDC,
We love
drug
the
addiction
FBI
and
now.
cancer scientists.
basically slashing every resources that we have.
It's kind of like we're gutting the country from the inside out.
Yes.
And why? Because they want to give themselves a big tax break or they destroy the middle class.
They're just trying to destroy our government, to wipe out the power of the people, and to put oligarchs in charge.
Damn.
We can't roll over anymore. People are rolling over, and it's like, no.
America is resisting fascism like the
What is this other one? Don't be a good German?
fascism like the entire world is.
Because this system sucks. It's done by design, and what we need is a revolution. We really do.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Some of these people are really wilding out, huh? They're really going crazy, huh?
We are here live in New York City at Union Square for the anti-Elon Musk, anti-billionaire,
Nazi.
stop the coup, fuck the kings protest. We're going to talk to some people about how they feel about everything going on right now.
In this country, I have friends, I have family who are transgender.
Uplift queer, bi, POC, trans youth?
You can't roll back history. My friend Yvonne Ritter, who just died last year, who was one of the key people at Stonewall.
For context, the Stonewall riots were a series of events that occurred after New York City police attempted to illegally raid and shut down a prominent queer bar in the 60s. It was 6 days of mayhem and is generally considered to be the launch point for the modern gay rights movement.
The other day, we all woke up to see that the T was removed from the website honoring the Stonewall riots.
References to transgender.
Yeah, a lot of people don't agree with transgenderism. Welcome to reality. That's true. Yeah.
And queer people have been removed from the Stonewall National Monument section on the National Park Service website. This comes as the Trump administration continues to push for federal agencies to only recognize two genders, male and female.
And this is absolutely outrageous. It's like undoing history. It's reversing history. You can't do that. So they might have removed the T, but they can't undo the history. That's why we're here. That's why it's important to have this flag. I'm an immigrant from Ireland. I came here because I was gay. It was a criminal offense in Ireland at the time, and I came here precisely.
Well, does he think that we want to make it illegal to be gay? Like, I don't want to make it illegal to be gay. I don't want to put you in jail. Who the fuck wants to put you in jail?
Because there was room here if you were queer, if you were gay.
Yeah.
Now this policy is reversing that.
President Trump keeps his promise.
Wait, no, it's not. Wait, so we're gonna make it illegal to be gay now? Holy shit! I thought that wasn't gonna happen until next year. We're ahead of schedule.
Wokeness out of the United States Armed Forces as he signs multiple executive orders to reshape the military.
And late today at the White House, President Trump signing an executive order banning transgender women from competing in women's sports.
The administration has issued orders for hospitals, for instance, to stop providing health care for young people, for children, for adults who are transgender.
President Trump recently signed an executive order halting federal support for gender-affirming.
Yeah, by the way, the amount of people that are against, quote, gender-affirming care for minors is like 80%. This isn't even like a 50-50 thing. It's like an 80% thing. And by the way, this is in America. Imagine what it's like in other parts of the world.
Health care for people under 19
Yeah, the
years of age.
entire premise that this is somehow like this like massive crazy thing, it's nuts. It's not healthcare. I don't think it's healthcare either. I'm not in support of it either. Like my viewpoint on trans is very simple. You want to go through transition, you want to do all that, sounds great. Do it when you're 18. That's my viewpoint. Pretty simple.
Can you imagine being in the middle of treatment and all of a sudden a directive comes from Washington to stop that treatment? My husband is a pediatric hematologist, oncologist. I've been inspired by him as I watched him care for children with sickle cell and with cancer. And I understand how important trials are and research. So the cuts, the directives
I
from
don't think that being trans is like having cancer.
Washington have literally cut and threaten the life, therefore, of many children across America and young people.
The Trump administration has told federal health agencies to pause external communications.
So it's very practical. It's not just rhetoric. It literally impacts real lives, families who love their children, who care for their families.
He's acting like a king or wannabe dictator, and I think it's pathetic.
This country is moving very rapidly under Trump into an authoritarian form of society.
We have a government where powers are supposed to be
I don't think that there can be any messaging that will be effective on the American public that we are moving towards an authoritarian society after COVID. After the way the Biden administration handled COVID and the lockdowns, there's nothing like, unless it's like Trump really does something crazy, that will be persuasive enough for people to think that, oh, now the government is being authoritarian. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Separated between equal branches. The executive branch is not authorized to simply defund programs that have been appropriated by Congress. They're seizing power. They're firing civil service members to put in loyalists.
Overnight, President Trump firing the nation's top military leadership in an unprecedented purge.
The Republican Congress is not checking him on this. They're too timid to do so. And that's why
it's not that they're timid. They agree with him. And also, like, I think a lot of the population agrees with him, too.
Here.
That's why I won the popular
I hope
vote.
we can get back to the democracy we've had for 250 years.
What are some of the executive orders that you found most egregious in this first month of the new term?
Oh, end of birthright citizenship, without a doubt.
President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship has kicked off an unprecedented legal battle over immigration policy.
I'm also worried about there's a bill been introduced in the House to
I wonder how these people reconcile the being for birthright citizenship with it happening right after slavery was eradicated. Because it very clearly was not intended for illegal immigrants to come over and have kids and then have the kids be stuck here. Like, it very clearly was not the intention. I don't think that anybody back then probably thought that was a good idea then. You know, like history? Yeah, because, like, I mean, to me, like, I feel like that's kind of like a game exploit. Like, okay, you have two people that aren't citizens. They come over, they have a kid, the kid's a citizen. Okay, well, then now you have a really, you've got a really tough situation. This seems like an obvious fucking exploit. They don't think about it. All Americans are immigrants, though. I mean, if you use a long enough timeline, everybody is an immigrant, basically. I don't really think that makes any, that doesn't, like, that type of argumentation, that's like feel-good 2010 argumentation that I think kind of worked back then, but I think reasonable people now kind of see through it very, very, very quickly.
A national ban on abortion?
Yeah.
I think the executive orders firing inspector generals, I would say, because they are the watchdogs of our society.
Within days of taking office, President Trump fired more than 17 inspectors general across the federal government.
That's a lot.
Eliminating any DEI in government programs, which
Thank God.
has frightened other agencies and people to stop teaching history and stop teaching about our true history. And
that's right, gentlemen. If you don't teach about DEI, you can't teach about history. If you don't hire people from DEI, see, like, if you don't have DEI, slavery didn't happen. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just how it is.
Agencies were directed to put DEI staff on leave. Employees ordered to remove pronouns from their signatures. Diversity inclusion programs shuttered.
You know, I stand by DEI. I'm not going to give up on these terms. Language is structural. It's not just a matter of, exchanging DEI with excellence. I think you have to stick and fight for these terms that we've so hard fought to have inserted in our institutions. I'm active in the cultural world, and I don't let go of it so quickly.
Why do you think they're attacking it so much?
Because they are racist and
oh God. Oh, bro, like the pink hat? I know, bro. Oh boy. Yeah, they're racist. What a surprise. How stupid are these people? There's so many of them too, isn't there? It's crazy. They just keep spawning.
Equate any challenge to the economic system in this country with people who are not white, and it's actually the opposite. Without immigrants or people who represent diversity in very different aspects, we would be in a much, much, much worse condition.
Tonight, Walmart.
I don't even think that makes sense. Like, it's crazy how well the illegal immigrant or undocumented immigrant, like that narrative for the language has worked on people, that these people are actually believing that a legal immigrant that's come here, through a visa program or through something else, is the same thing as an illegal immigrant. I don't know what happened. The gold card, baby. Yeah, we got the gold card now. That's right.
Joining a growing list of companies rolling back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives.
Why do you think there is so much focus on DEI right now?
Because I always think scapegoating people is easy, and I think that there is they're racists.
Stop the... That's it. Why are they doing it? Because they're racist. It's that simple. Wow. I'm willing to bet you don't understand the actual process. No, and I don't give a shit what it is either. Not everybody in the world is entitled to be able to come to the United States. I don't give a fuck about how hard it is to come to the U.S. That's not my problem. But, yeah, why would I care?
Fucking billionaires.
Top 5 worst billionaires. What comes to mind?
Top 5.
Well, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, if he actually is a billionaire. Bill Gates, pretty bad, but not as bad as Jeff Bezos. And trying to think of another one.
Larry Fink.
Zuckerberg. Larry Fink. There you go.
Oh.
Zuckerberg's also a fucking terrible billionaire.
As far as wealth distribution goes, do you feel like anybody should be a billionaire?
Probably not. But the thing is that what's more important is that the billionaire shouldn't be able to tell all the rest of us what to do.
Right.
Yep. We should get rid of lobbying. That's true. We should. It's a good idea.
I think they can earn $1 billion, but then they have to have fair taxation.
How billionaire...
True. She's right.
Jeff Bezos pays 0 in taxes.
Because we want to encourage people, and to be... I mean, you've hit my main issue here. but they hate the government. The government is set up for them to succeed.
The same goes for larger corporations. Smaller companies barely survived the pandemic, while larger corporations simply coasted through. The reason for this was the higher taxes.
And they get a lot of benefits from it. Everybody knows, right? Elon has like billions in government contracts, et cetera, especially his space program.
SpaceX alone has received $19 billion from the federal government, and it is poised to take in several billion a year.
At the president's request.
Does that present a conflict of interest for you?
No, because first of all, I'm not the one, filing the contract. It's people at SpaceX or someone who will be putting for the contract.
He is living off government contracts and cutting off.
I don't understand what this logic is that I don't think that anybody thinks government contracts are bad. I think that the conversation is about which government contracts are bad and which ones are not bad. It's like it's a totally different conversation. He got a lot through Biden as well. Yeah, of course. You think he got all 19 billion in the last month that Trump was president? No. He's been getting money from the Biden administration for years. Absolutely.
USAID to countries that are desperately in need of food. Meanwhile, he's sitting on piles of cash.
Backlash after Elon Musk seized control of USAID, the agency that provides U.S. humanitarian assistance around the world.
Oh, the USAID is ridiculous, and the lies around it are unreal. And if you turn on Fox News, it's literally just a propaganda machine.
Angry Democrats throwing a hissy fit after Elon Musk dropped the Doge hammer on the Hunter Biden of government agencies.
Supposedly there's $200 million worth of food that's being held up in ports right now. Condoms that need to go to Africa. AIDS medication.
Why do we need to send condoms to Africa? Because I, as an American taxpayer, I have to pay a lot of money in taxes. I don't want my money to go towards condoms for people that are in Africa. That's not where I want my money to go. Now, that's just me. But that's how I feel. I don't think that we should do that. How could you do that? Could you? Yeah, I just don't think it's a good way of using my money. That makes me a racist. Uh-oh.
It's ridiculous.
It's not up to you, unfortunately. Well, that's the funny thing. Is that it sure seems like it is. Yeah, that's... It's really kind of funny. Funny you should bring that up.
World, we are doing important medicine to help things from getting out of hand, like COVID. Those things, we're a big interconnected world. Those things come here.
All the money to fight diseases in other countries. That's going to come back.
Thank God. We're spending billions of dollars fighting diseases in countries that were like... We got people that have diseases here, but we're buying helicopters. This is crazy. What a waste of fucking money.
Back to bite us when those diseases land here on our shores.
But hell, I don't want Ebola to come here and mutate. I don't want AIDS to mutate because
I should note that following Trump and Musk's defunding of USAID, they've since decided to reinstate funding for Ebola and HIV research.
We have, for example, turned on funding for Ebola prevention and for HIV prevention. Yes, correct.
Still, many of Elon's critics view his gutting of USAID as a strange, unnecessary thing, given its relative small percentage in the overall government spending budget.
USAID spending, foreign aid.
I think that that's a good point, and I want him to do it to the military too. So this is my viewpoint, right? I think that 90%, it seems like, of the USAID stuff is a fucking waste of money and get rid of doing it, right? I think it's total bullshit. I don't believe in this whole soft power thing. I think you can get a lot more soft power through not just sending a bunch of these people money. Also, I talked to people from these other countries that we're sending money to. They didn't even know that we were sending them money. I think it's just being embezzled and siphoned off by bureaucrats. That's why these people that have $100,000 a year, jobs are millionaires. So I'm against that. I am. I'm very much against that. But I'm also against the military because I think the military is doing the same thing. And how many of you guys feel the same way? I don't think that you have to choose either or. I would say both. Let's trim the fat out of the whole fucking thing. Yeah, flashback. Yeah, exactly. It's the worst. 100%. Agree that I'm a veteran. Well, yeah, of course. I think veterans, the thing is that I think veterans probably support that the most. Because the more money and the more like private interests that are involved in the military, that compromises the military's integrity, in my opinion, because that is more fuel for the military industrial complex, because a second and third order effect of that is lobbying interests that promote people that could be more of a warmonger. So I'm very much against that as well. And I think a lot of veterans would be as well. Of course.
It is not a large percent of our budget. Defense is a tremendous one. Social Security, Medicare.
Agreed.
But foreign aid is a tiny, tiny fraction of American spending.
USAID's $43 billion budget is a tiny fraction of what the government spends, about 1%.
It's about $100 per taxpayer in America, although, you know, if you have to figure out how much of that is really well-off people versus poor people, it's not on average. So it's a tiny, tiny amount of money that pays off tremendously for the benefit for Americans. Like, you know, people look at us as positively around the world.
What is this guy never played an online video game before? You fucking... See, this is the problem. This is the issue that I think a lot of Americans have, is it's like this form of, like, we are going to save you and take care of you type thing. It's so stupid. It's so weird.
Its support is a critical lifeline for people in need around the world, helping an estimated 32 million children suffering malnutrition and bringing food, water, shelter, and health care to victims of natural disasters.
In addition to being a humanitarian disaster, there's just no goodwill. You know, we will become the hated country in the world.
They're going to hate us unless we give them all of our money? Okay, well then fuck them. What is this? Well, we have to give you money or you won't like us? What kind of emotional blackmail is this?
Just like Germany was under the Nazis.
Some former officials...
Wait, so we're going to be like the Nazis unless we give these people a bunch of money and food? Like, this is amazing. Where do these people come from? Oh my God.
say it could leave fragile countries more vulnerable to the influence of nations like Russia and China.
They're also cutting programs to help hungry kids here. It's a ridiculous survival of the fittest that we probably should move past as a civilization just a little bit.
Hey man, thanks so much for your time.
See, I disagree with that as well, but I don't disagree with it in terms of I disagree with it ideologically, but not functionally. Just because a program here helps hungry kids doesn't mean that that program is being run in an effective way and the people that are running it are doing a good job. So sometimes there can be systems that are bad that have a good benefit. So like, I don't really see how this makes sense at all.
I appreciate it. Our show's called Channel 5 on YouTube.
Yep, that's right. You're watching Channel 5. What's up, my C5 family? As many of you guys know, I've been to many events just like that one in Union Square. And everywhere I go, without fault, whether it be a political rally, a convention, anything, one thing is constant. Somebody is gonna stink.
It's not me.
As an interviewer, I can't smell bad. Because if I want people to open up and really speak their mind, I can't have stinky armpits, stinky skin, stinky anything. That's why I use Mando. My favorite thing about Mando is it's clinically proven to resist and control odor for 72 hours. That's 3 whole days. And trust me, if you want to work at Channel 5, just know, it's Mando that you wear some Mando. In the streets of Philly, Mando. Huntington Beach Public Library, Mando. Vegas tunnels, Mando. In the woods hunting for the Jersey Devil. Pro Sport, Invisible Cream. I love Mando so much that I wish I had some to give out at the Union Square protest.
Damn, that's a good one. Knoxtalkish, why you're so against helping people, I don't get it. As a veteran, helping those in need in other countries, especially the Navy, is the biggest form of support it has and why I enlisted. I don't care where you're from. Helping people is a no-brainer for me. So I agree with helping people. I just think that the priority should be helping people here in the U.S. And I view it as unethical to take people's money through threat of force, through taxes, and then not allocate and redistribute that money to the same people who it was taken from. I view this as an unethical transfer of wealth, and I don't like it. So it's actually that's the reason why I feel that way. Obviously, people are going to have disagreements on this, and it's not a binary situation, but in a general sense, that's the premise that I operate from. So socialism, I believe in a lot of socialist principles. Yeah, I do. I know, like, maybe you're thinking, oh wow, well, if I say this word, then he's going to say that he's wrong. No, that's not how my brain works. I would be disappointed if some people, that's how their brain did work. It'd be bad.
Guess what? I have some great news for you guys. As a special
It's
offer
non-binary?
to the
It is.
C5 Mando family, new customers can get a whopping $5 off the Mando starter pack with our exclusive code, all caps, Channel 5,
Channel
at
5.
www.shopmando.com. That equates to 40%
I haven't used
off the
deodorant
Mando
since I was
starter
a
pack.
teenager.
Again, that's code Channel 5 at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com.
Yep, I don't need
Please
to.
show your support and tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier,
I
and
don't need
boost
to.
your
Don't have
confidence
to.
from head to toe with Mando. All right, back to the streets of Union Square.
You seem to like Trump.
I love Trump, Daddy Trump. Trump for emperor.
So how do you think about this whole concept of a coup happening?
It's hilarious. I'm out here to watch the shit show in the Trove.
What do you think about Elon Musk?
I think he's hot. He needs a date a tranny. No,
What the fuck? How do you find these fucking people, man? Oh, God.
totally would fuck him so bad.
So you don't think the Hitler salute was legit?
Yeah.
Hi, Hitler. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with Hitler?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some people would say a lot of things.
Some people would say a lot of things about that. Oh, God.
8 million Jews can tell you what's wrong with Hitler.
This is America. Everyone's entitled to their own beliefs and
all good, baby.
More shrimp. More shrimp. Always room for more shrimp. Definitely room for less Trump. So if there's one message for the people of America at home or worldwide, less Trump, more shrimp. Heard it here first.
You have anything to say to
It's a free country, man.
the world?
Definitely like stand up to fascism.
Yeah, bro.
If there's
like,
a hostile
yeah.
takeover of the government happening.
Yeah.
A bunch of billionaires are reaping the
Fucking,
benefits from it,
yeah,
and we're all
bro.
getting fucked. So people gotta hit the streets and
Oh,
make
these
it
guys are
happen.
good.
Also, like more shrimp, less Trump.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody at the rally was militantly anti-Elon, but a few of his supporters showed up to speak their minds.
Uh-oh.
I'm a Democrat for 45 years, no longer. So I put a lot of those people in office who voted for things that quite frankly, they're stealing money from us with all these NGOs that are being investigated. I like Elon Musk. Keep doing it. Keep looking at where our money is going and traveling to. I don't want to support war and our military dying or anybody else dying in any foreign countries.
You learn that like there's hundreds of billions of dollars going to these so-called NGOs. Yeah. And it's your tax dollars.
Why did he dress like this? Why did he do this? It's ridiculous.
Are funding things that are fundamentally anti-American.
Going back to Doge, though, can you think of an example of them actually like cleaning things up and helping us save money so far, NGOs?
Well, there's a whole list, and unfortunately, I was hit by a car. I can't remember everything. I have a brain issue. Yeah. But the thing that I do know is like giving prophylactics to like Guatemala, or raising money for some Sesame Street DEI or LBGT thing going on.
Bro, that's the one everybody fucking remembers, man. The Iranian DEI Sesame Street. I can't believe that shit happened.
in another country.
Drag shows in Ecuador, atheism in Nepal, trans comic books in Peru.
All these NGOs that are in other countries getting money from you and you and you and you, all of our taxes. Where is this money going? I like the Doge. I want to know where my money's going. Yeah. I want to know why I can't afford to buy a steak, which is $22. I want to know why I can't afford to buy eggs.
Well, I would think it has something to do with the weapons manufacturers that are being subsidized by...
True, based fucking Andrew. Absolutely. He's right. He's absolutely fucking right. Yes. Also true.
Government contracts as opposed to DEI initiatives.
Well, you know, the military-industrial complex has definitely been infiltrated with people who are corrupt, and I agree with you. And I hope that those contracts are looked at and found out. And
yeah, this is the way I think a lot of people feel about it. This doesn't have to be one or the other. It's both, bro. Like, yes.
Killed and canceled, and I hope people are held accountable and go to jail.
But what you said is also true about what a lot of people in the recovery community call the nonprofit industrial complex, which is these massive NGOs that are being funded and the money goes nowhere, just to salaries for activists.
Not only salaries for activists, but also many of these NGOs are semi-sophisticated money laundering operations for billionaires who embed their wealth in nonprofits to avoid paying taxes. Elon Musk himself owns a $5 billion charity called the Musk Foundation with no employees or staff. And notable other billionaires and Trump allies like Jeff Bezos owns $100 million.
This is another gentleman. If this was a video game, this would have been patched out. It would have been patched out. This is a fucking exploit, and everybody knows it. And the only reason why it's happening is because the people that are taking advantage of it are the people that are running the fucking government. That's the reason. Everybody knows it.
Nonprofit with the stated goal of combating homelessness, or rather funding partner organizations who take that money and then go fight.
It's the same, like, you know what the most fucking annoying thing was? Is Mark Cuban. Do you remember when Mark Cuban said he paid like $22 million in taxes? Didn't Mark Cuban make like $500 million or something like that? Like, if I do the math, you rat bastard. You're not paying them. You're not paying the amount of money that you need to. It's like you guaranteed this guy made over $100 million. Guaranteed he made over $100 million just from asset appreciation. What a rat! I pay like 30%. I pay a lot. Whatever the highest percentage is, that's where I'm at, and it's a lot.
Homelessness in the city of Seattle, of all places, where nothing has significantly changed. But that doesn't seem to really concern wealthy NGO and nonprofit investors like Musk and Bezos. After all, it's not just for PR and tax purposes. As scholar Ruth Wilson Gilmore puts it, the nonprofit industrial complex is also dependent on surveillance and control. The rich have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo, particularly when it comes to wealth distribution and control of media and information streams. So control of any nonprofits in the social justice or so-called revolutionary realm.
Yeah, it's to launder their image and make them seem like good people, so everybody doesn't realize that these fuckers are making way too much money and they should be taxed higher. That's the reason why. And like, I am an advocate for higher taxes. I think that we stop a little bit too low. I think that it should probably go up to like 50 or 60%. It stops at 39%. That's my opinion. At like wealth caps that are like 20 million or $100 million, right? I'm not saying that like, no. I'm not saying like you should pay 50%. I'm not. Nobody's saying that. I'm saying like if you're making like $180 million in a year, the only reason that you're able to make that money is because of the country, and I think you should have to chip in for that. Because if there wasn't the laws and the country and the apparatus that you're making this money into, people would come to your house at night and kill you and take all your stuff. So I think you got to chip in. And I feel like if you're making $180 million, you're going to be just fine with 90. You'd be just fine. You'd be okay. I promise you're going to be fine.
allows them to do a few things, but most importantly, it allows them to create a quasi-welfare style financial dependency amongst the leaders of these causes and threaten to pull funding if they don't fall in line with the imposed narrative and agenda of government agencies and private corporations. They can also collect intel to either share with law enforcement or use to entrap, cancel, and dismantle anyone getting
Whatever
too
happened to him? They even gonna let him? Has he turned into a wizard? He is. He's a wizard now. Oh my God. If Trump pardons this guy, that would be the biggest W that you could possibly farm. I think the chances of him pardoning Snowden are like 50%. I think the chances of him pardoning Assange are like 10%. Very, very low.
And dismantle anyone getting too spicy. Now, obviously not all NGOs are CIA psyops to dismantle revolutionary causes and launder taxable income for oligarchs. But to act like the NGO issue that Elon Musk is citing is just a conservative talking point that he's pulling out of his ass is insane. Whether or not he's actually going to do anything about it is a different conversation. But it's still a problem, and one that I hope gets solved.
Do you think there is such a...
Thank you, Andrew. You're completely fucking right. It's a massive issue, and I wish people would take a more nonpartisan perspective of it.
Concept as like the
Completely fucking
non-profit
right.
industrial complex? Like, do you think there is a degree of embezzlement when it comes to some of these organizations?
No.
Then how is it that the people that run it are billionaires, or sorry, not billionaires, multimillionaires? So like if you make $80,000 a year, or like let's say $200,000 a year, you've been working there for 10 years. How do you have $30 million? How does that? Because like if I do the math, and I add up those numbers, I don't get that same number.
I'm not. No. I think
does not add up.
Nonprofits have stepped in to do the work that the government does not.
Yeah.
And so they're doing really important work, like providing free legal services to undocumented immigrants, providing health care where our system doesn't provide it. So I think they're doing really critical life-saving work. And without nonprofits holding up a system that is, not serving everyone, people won't get care, they won't get legal representation, they won't get the services they need.
I hate that argument too. That we need to rely on subsidies and handouts from billionaires because the government is too inefficient and bad in order to properly get the money from those people in the first place. I do. I think that it's such a problem. It's such a massive problem. It's so bad. Yeah, I think so. And I don't know how people can't see that. It's like and the problem is that I think that a lot of people that have half of people usually have half of my opinion, but they don't have the other half. And I think that if people looked at it in a more holistic perspective, they would probably agree with a lot of this.
Live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine.
Yeah.
Fuck the authority, Channel 5 News.
You think they're going to fix that?
We don't fuck with
want them
customers.
to, right?
5 is the best number.
Yeah, I would want them to fix it.
Hey man, thanks for that web link. It's really working.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys missed the memo, but we just dropped an entire feature film. That's right, a full-blown movie at www.dearkellyfilm.com.
DearKellyFilm.com.
It's an action-packed movie.
Bro, is this the guy that interviewed that one journalist at that place, and then the journalist just randomly fucking got super mad at him? This is that guy. I remember that so well.
It revolves around the life and times of Kelly Johnson, a.k.a. Kelly J. Patriot.
They assassinated Kobe Bryant. How many people know that?
It documents his
Not a lot.
semi-estranged family and their attempt to pull him out of the rabbit hole.
Bill Joyner! You don't know Bill Joyner, do you?
I don't want to say too much, but it's a good movie. If you guys want to watch it, www.dearkellyfilm.com. It's available for rent and buy. You can rent it for $5.55, or you can buy it for $15.55.
www.dearkellyfilm.com.
It's cool for them to do that. It is. Or can I download Iraqi Sesame Street? You can't. It was from the USAID website, and it got deleted. Yeah, I mean, there it is. That's awesome, man. And anyway, I think this is a great video. And I think it's fair. I think that some people's criticisms of Elon Musk and do you think that nonprofits and charities, while good causes, also do a disservice? Like, I think it shows the government, yeah, we don't need to worry about this. We don't have to help. Others will do it instead. Yeah, I dislike the idea that we need to rely on nonprofits and things like that in order to, what do you call it? There's the video right there, gentlemen, if you guys want to give it a like. And, you know, huge fan of Channel 5, all the way from from back when they were, you know, all gas, no brakes, and now until then. And, yeah, big fan. Check the update on the Epstein list. I heard a lot of it was redacted. That's why I haven't covered it yet. That's the only reason I haven't talked about it yet. You seen the new Twitch change? Oh, about them giving the money to everybody? Yeah, I saw that myself. Wasn't the reason for Sesame Street? It's soft power, so it's good for us. Making Sesame Street for Iraq is not soft power. That's ridiculous. I think the entire argument for that is insane, and I think also, like, that's not how you really achieve soft power. One good example of, like, you know what I think effectively was good soft power was, like, Black Myth Wukong with China, right? That's really good soft power because now you're exporting your culture to the whole world in a way that people like. So I'm not against soft power. I'm just against this strategy for soft power. I think that it's counterproductive in a lot of cases where we're basically going into cultures that are very antithetical to our own in a lot of cases. And we're trying to patronize them and preach to them that they need to be living and doing things in a certain way. So that's what I think. That's how I feel about it, right? Japan with anime 100% is the best example of soft power. It is. It's a great example. And so, like, the entire idea, like, the premise of soft power is great. I just don't think USAID is a really good way of activating on it, right? I feel like both of these things can be true simultaneously. So anyway, give me 1 second, and then we'll Hollywood from the 40s. Yeah, Hollywood's a good example for that. Japan with anime. Yeah, and look at South Korea with K-pop, right? There's a lot of examples. It made the rest of the world hate you guys, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think that the rest of the world appreciates us trying to, like, force an agenda on them. I'll be right back.